I'll start off with something I just wrote. The Blue Angels were in town recently, and they came to my house, and I couldn't ignore them, so I started writing about them. I should send them this, actually. It just occurred to me. I don't know where to send it, but I don't know if they get very many poems. It's called A Disturbing Turbo Angel Exhaust. How is a fighter jet angelic? It's the opposite. A loud, destructive mechanism with a man inside. It cruises through angelic skies, incurring a vicarious association with the metaphysical. It is disturbing the peace and blowing it to pieces, and the blessings it bestows are in the form of bullets which deliver death. Was it a fighter jet that visited the Virgin Mary with an engine full of angel exhaust? I wish a fighter jet was like an angel. It would be more quiet and invisible. In fact, it wouldn't exist. The closest that it comes to the angelic is a pilot when he's floating with a parachute. He's in between the heavens and the earth. The latter is magnetic with disintegrated airplanes sticking to it. An exploded view. The dead are grounded. It is not an angel of mercy. It is more like an emergency. At 600 miles an hour, there's a certain urgency. It has the omnipresence of a messenger of God, and it will hit a village with a fusillade of flaming swords. The fighter jets around Jerusalem are not exactly seraphim. The supersonic paranoia in the Holy Land a wonder to behold. The Ubermenschen who control the country from another dimension, the inhabitants of a mechanical panic. It requires no imagination to machine gun the historic and replace it with the two-dimensional. And yet I don't object to having the Blue Angels in town. We're paying for the military, we should see what it can do, while trying to imagine the impact of an all-American F-18 on other countries when it shows up like the screaming banshee of an errant nationalism. It's a bird of prey, and you don't have a prayer if it appears on the horizon with its homicidal radar and its wingtip vortices, a shockwave moving through the people who are forced to give their money to the military, like a feudal lord collecting from the peasants who are thought to be expendable. The propaganda unbelievable. It's out of 1984, if not the concentration camps, where people were told that work will make you free. It is a system which would have us believe there's springtime in a cigarette, and fighter jets are angels. And a missile has been named for an indigenous tribe that never made it to the Iron Age. I'm looking at the weapons of a military protection racket. In the old days of the Soviet Union, they would haul their missiles down the street so everyone could see how big they were. We hide them in this country, but a few have gotten loose. Here come the warm jets. We're under attack. They're firing blanks. I'm bearing witness to the most ungodly thunder, like the sky is being torn apart by flying demons, and it leaves me with the dive bomb blues. The whimsy of the lethal is a little hard to take. The glorification ringing hollow, and the show is over when the last jet turns into a seagull. Thank you. This is called I Thought. I thought it was a poem, it was just some prose collapsed. I thought that I was in a movie, it was just a time lapse. I thought that it was dark out, it was only an eclipse. I thought that I was in a hot tub, it was someone's lips. I thought I had a lot on my mind, but it was on my nerves. I thought I had a call from her, but it was just her curves. I thought I had a haunted house, but it was just a dream. I thought she was in love with me, and then I heard her scream. I thought I was immortal, but I'm running out of days. I thought I had it all together, it was just a phase. I thought it was a democracy, but I was misinformed. I thought that I was normal, but it turns out I'm deformed. I thought it was a game, it was a psychosocial assessment. I thought it was a warm and sandy beach, it was cement. I thought she was a goddess, but she turned into a wife. I thought I was a nice guy, but I'm doing 10 to life. I thought that I was focused, but I'm living in a fog. I thought of the internal and internal monologue. I thought it was the voice of God, there's something in the attic. I thought he was a man, but he was just a lunatic. I thought he fathered lots of kids, but it was child neglect. I thought she was a woman, she was just a side effect. I thought I saw a plutocrat, it was a pile of shit. I thought I'm having brainwaves, but I guess I'm full of it. I thought you were a citizen, you're only a consumer. I thought we had a Bill of Rights, but it was just a rumor. I thought it was a school, it is a correctional institution. I thought it was the underground, it's only a confusion. I thought it was an absolute, and then somebody blinked. I thought that I would take a bath, but it's the kitchen sink. I'll try a couple from this. I've got some books here for sale. They're poems that I put together just this year, actually. And I believe Halloween is like coming down on us really fast, so I'm going to do something about zombies. The reason I became a zombie. Being a zombie means you never have to say you're sorry. It's a good career move for a sociopath. And no one cares if you're neglecting your appearance, you already look like hell. The first step in becoming a lifeless stooge is leave the TV on all day and be addicted to a twilight zone of tranquilizers. You don't have to worry about the afterlife because you're already there. The reason I became a zombie is that I have issues with responsibility and pain. A zombie feels no pain, and they are not responsible for wreaking havoc in the world. They're just like drunk Republicans in that respect. But I am not a drunk Republican. I'm just a little morbid, and I hang out in the cemetery feeling marginalized and antisocial. Zombies don't have equal rights, and many don't have equal nights. And it is hard to get a date when you're a zombie. Normal women run away. Like being with a zombie is a fate worse than death. And so I'm stuck with zombie girls, and you know what they're like. They don't even move. They stare off into space while giving you the cold shoulder. They are worse than goth girls. On the other hand, they put the cute into electrocuted. And their hair is out of this world. It's like the bride of Frankenstein, a shockwave in her brain, her skin dissolving in the rain. I'll do kind of a short piece. A while back, when Libya was getting all of the revolution and revolt was going on in Libya, there was a pilot who was ordered to bomb his people, and he refused. It's called Bailout, or The People Are Too Big to Fail. A pilot has ejected. He rejected the regime. He's floating in the air. A parachute protecting him is downright paranormal, and his fighter jet is going on without him. He is bailed out of the war machine and hangs suspended by his principles a mile above the ground. A parachute is fragile as a flower or a cloud, but it supports a man. It's focused on the human. It's a Renaissance parachute. The lines are like a poem which can save your life. The old regime is losing its grip. It's showing what it's all about when pilots have been told to bomb their countrymen, to cut them into pieces on the ground. The pilot is responding to a higher authority. Instead of dropping a bomb, he drops himself. It is another way to join the crowd. Instead of acting like a robot in a cockpit, he is landing like a man and walks away. His fighter jet will burn out in the desert like a cigarette in a bowl of sand. This is a fairly recent piece. I live in San Francisco with my wife Sarah, and if anybody walks around in that city, you may know that it's dangerous as a pedestrian, and it actually has the highest mortality rate for pedestrians in the entire country because the drivers are maniacs. It's called Exposure in the Intersection. When they block the crosswalk as you're walking up, a good response is to expose yourself. It is disturbing the repose of those divine appointed beings on their rubber tires, and it is a means of being seen, and it is necessary when you are on foot, a simian among machines, and there is a prince, if not a princess, of the road, secure in the dominion of vicarious mass production, where the fantasy of status is necessitating tunnel vision, and a man on foot is a reminder of a low-down humanism they are fleeing from with four-wheel drive and power steering. They are staring straight ahead, a mere pedestrian beneath them, as occurs when they are running over someone. Your survival could depend on getting their attention. All the better if you have a night reflector on your organ of reproduction, and it glitters in a way that is attractive to the nouveau riche. Your life is in your hands when you are walking on the avenue of bitches in oblivion. I saw one backing up around a corner while she's talking on a car phone and ignoring the formality of crosswalk lines, and nearly cut me off at the knees. I don't know if the sudden sight of someone who is naked is considered punishment. For some it might be a reward, and others would consider it an insult or a threat, as if a naked man could wrestle with a pickup truck. At any rate, the paramedics are removing someone's clothing when they put him on a stretcher, having been run over by a knee-jerk driver, and I'm feeling naked in these confrontations with a ton of metal. Is it impolite for someone to be mooning the oppressor? With your bottom pressing on the window, you're impressing on them that you are alive and present, and you're willing to be putting this encounter on the street behind you if you are allowed to walk away, and that's the bottom line. Thank you.